My name is Kenneth Tilar. I'm 21. I'm a Filipino American born in Chesapeake, Virginia. Both my parents are from the Philippines, born and raised, and I was raised a Catholic. I went to a private Catholic school my entire life until now. And I currently attend BC. So being Filipino American is kind of like having two different perspectives on life because since both my parents were born and raised in the Philippines and me being born and raised here, I kind of had to learn the two different cultures in a way. Like I was raised with like different morals as a Filipino. I was also raised Catholic because Catholicism is like a huge thing in Filipino culture. So in terms of like superstitions with the Filipino culture, a lot of them stem from Catholicism because Filipinos in this generation, they're like really religious. So in the Filipino culture, we have this thing called the Santo Niño. And from what I remember about the story about it is I'm pretty sure it's from when Spain came to invade the Philippines, and so we had these like little baby Jesus idols, I guess, and we were like shipping them off, or the Spaniards wanted to ship them off somewhere to get them away. But every time they would try to ship them off, the figures would just come back to the island of the Philippines. So what they did is they cut off the foot of the idols. So then like, because they believed it was just like walking back. So they cut off the foot and then they sent it back. But they just kept showing up back into the Philippine Islands. So we took that as like, oh, the baby Jesus is like, as a supernatural thing that's with us, and it'll bring us good fortune, it'll protect us, bless us, and watch over us because it wants to stay in our island. I feel like superstitions, they actually help kind of like raise me in a way to not like be bad. So for example, like my mom would be like, don't do that, God's watching, or don't do that, or else like you won't be able to go to heaven, stuff like that. So a couple like superstitions I do have in my household. One of them is on, I think during the holidays around Christmas and New Year's, my mom puts out 13 fruits, and they're supposed to symbolize like different virtues and stuff of the Filipino culture. Another one is on New Year's Eve. We all gather around the TV before the ball drops, and my mom gives us little bags of like quarters and pennies and like coins, and she has us like shake it up as like to like welcome the new year with like good fortune and good wealth. And we also put those coins on like the staircases, and we turn all the lights on so that as like a way of just welcoming the new year and like having a bright future and stuff like that. There's also a weird superstition with ants in my house. So during the summer, whenever the ants come, my mom thinks it's good fortune because it means we're wealthy and we're in good, we're stable, because the ants will come eat our food, and that's pretty much saying we have food. So I find some of these superstitions unrelatable now that I'm older, just because I kind of grew out of, if you do this, you'll get a bad consequence, because like that's how little kids usually think, and that's how like the parents will intimidate their kids into being a good kid. But I do find, in a way, them relatable because growing up, they've influenced my decisions into like choosing the good out of the bad like choices. So I mean, knowing from what I know about like the Philippines and the Filipino culture, no offense to like the Philippines or anything, but it is a third world country. Like we are poor. Like it's poverty struck. Like, or the parents have to tell their kids like just to keep their hopes up. Like, and so these kids grow up with all these like superstitions about, there's always going to be hope at the end of the tunnel because we'll get out of this poverty and stuff like that. So I feel like the superstitions that the Filipinos make up are mainly religious because, as you know, like God is good, God is an almighty God, and He'll help save us. So through generations, that has been carried on in the Filipino culture, and so it just gives you know, it gives hope, it gives light to the Filipino culture that, you know, although times suck right now, we're gonna get out of this. As a Filipino American living in the United States, of course, it's a lot different for us. We sometimes take for granted the things that people in the Philippines can't, like electricity and water and stuff like that. So, at times I like to take a step back, you know, and just be grateful for all the things I have. And so that's probably why I see through most of the superstitions, because again, as a Filipino American growing up in America, there's not that sense of like hope that things will get better, or hope that, you know, I'll come out successful, and hope that like God will save me from whatever. So I guess that's like a different perspective of being Filipino in America. So overall, being a Filipino American is in a way pretty cool, because again, I get two different perspectives from two different cultures. Like in the Filipino culture, I have like these different morals and these different beliefs that usually Americans don't have. And so I think that just makes me in a way a unique individual. I'm a Filipino, I'm proud.